All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Coach Shawn Witten Show here on WBJ radio station. I'm Stacy Street, along with Tony Briggs. Of course, we're joined by the head football coach of your Elizabethton Cyclones, Coach Shawn Witten. Coach Witten, going into week 4 here, game 2 of the conference coming up tonight against the Cherokee Chiefs, yet another road trip. Before we go there, let's talk about the long road trip that we had down to Granger County last week, but it was a successful trip.
Really good performance by our guys. The defense got a 3-and-out, and we went right down the field and scored. We had a couple short field positions where we got an opportunity to just run the ball. Really wanted to get Zeth and Holzer off to a really good start, just keep our line into running the ball there. Then we spread it a few wrinkles in. Then we had a Mason ball on 3rd down, hits the quarterback arm, and ball goes up, and Landry Buckles gets a good interception return for a touchdown. That's our 2nd of the year, but solid performance. We did what we needed to do, and it was good to see us spread the ball around and get different guys in the game.
And I'm sure Tony will talk to you about this too. And so many good things happened last week by your starters, but you really got to see some of the non-starters play. So let's talk a little bit about some of the contributions they made last week.
Well, the key for us, especially these early games, is we're still building for down the road. There's still a lot more to play for. So getting guys quality minutes and meaningful time is huge for us. Special teams play. A couple times when we got the ball down in the red zone, instead of going to our goal line or wildcat package, we just went to a double tight package to see what Cam Baker and Mason Hall could do at some tight end positions. And then also just to see if we can create down in the goal line or the red zone, when you put 2 tight ends in there, to see if we can create one-on-one matchups to be able to throw the ball to Dry or Luke out on the edge. So some of the things that we're working and experiment with to see what gives us the best matchup to try to execute down in the red zone. But also, we started Landry Buckles at the wheel linebacker position to hold Holzer as a running back. In tonight's game, we're going to start Holzer at the star and Landry at the wheel, allow Zeth to get the first carries at offense, to see what kind of rhythm we could get in, to see what our defense can do without Zeth at the star position, and kind of keep going from there. Second half, obviously, we came out, we sprinkled a couple runs with Dry, a couple runs with Baker in, just to see in big games we're going to need more than 2 running backs. We know that Zeth and Holzer and Dry and Baker, all 4 play offense and defense and special teams. So the ability to get the different running backs in the game can be a big asset for us down the road.
In your quarterback play, you've got Slagle look good as he's doing, really continue to play well. You got Whitehead in there, and I'm telling you what, I don't know if I've seen a quarterback at the high school level do play fakes as good as that. He looks like Roger Staubach holding it on his hip there. I commented to Tony, every time he did a play fake, that is as good a high school play fake as I've seen.
Well, we've worked really hard on play action pass. We've worked hard on play action rollouts. With Cam and Mason Hall and some of our things, misdirection is a valuable key for us on the offensive end. And then just be able to play fakes. When Cam and Mason get in there and they block, the defender's eyes get lost in the backfield, and then now we're going one direction or coming out, be able to hit those flood routes. I thought he did a great job when he came in executing. Then when you get the 2 tight end looks, people think they're going to pack the box and you're going to stop the run, and then all of a sudden we're hitting these tight ends out in the flats or tight end verticals. It could really be tough for us to stop. We did a little bit of that against Morristown West. We tried to create a double tight end package, and then we get 2-on-2 out here in receiver positions to be able to stretch the ball vertical. So, trying to show some heavy run situations to help the pass. And then, the biggest thing for us is we've been run oriented. We try to open up against a little bit Morristown West, but the ability to misdirection is going to be key for us as we move forward.
And one more question, and I'll turn it over to Tony. These young kids, they're in the same heat as the starters. They're getting pounded on by the upperclassmen. But to be able to get them actually on the field and become even more involved than they are, how important is that for this team going forward?
Well, it's huge for us. It's huge for us for the guys' confidence and mentality. It's like, for instance, we've mentioned his name already, but Landry Buckles being a starting role, he's made some big plays in the first couple of games, and then Billy Woodby's played some big minutes there to help us out the linebacker position. We're going to need those guys down the road. how much is too much when you got guys going both ways, playing a lot of snaps on both sides of the ball, trying to keep guys fresh. Zach Law's another one as a safety. The ability to get him out there more full-time allows Dry and Luke Whaley to get some breaks. I really think that, guys like Bryson Rowland's done a good job. Alex Riddle continue to get some more corner work. And then, just creating depth by our offensive line. I really think that that's going to be a key ingredient for us down the road is the minute we can rotate in a 6-man, a 7th-man, an 8-man rotation, get guys a break a series, really can help us, finish the game better from the offensive line standpoint.
Going into last week's contest, you had a little adversity when you got there. You was running, on your time, you was running about an hour and a half late. I know that those kids were on the bus for extended time. You've got this set ritual that you do. How do you think these kids, resilient, handled being knocked off of their routine?
Well, I thought, those are the things that you kind of want to see, even though it kind of happened out of your control. I really thought that our guys did a phenomenal job with that. First time ever not warming up on the field. Thankfully, we had a place to go up there. And then I just think that, that those are things, that situations down the road that, that you try to prepare for and you try to prevent. But, guys did a pretty good job of it. I thought we got out and played really well. I thought, we've been talking about exclamation marks on our season, the way we start the game, the way that we finish the second quarter. We talk about the way our 2-minute drive went, 95 yards in less than 50 seconds. We stopped the clock twice with the quarterback spike, and then, to be able to execute those plays. So there's a lot of things that we did really well. We still want to grow and build for the depth. We still did a good job of a lot of different things, but not going to sit here and tell you that wasn't a little nerve-wracking. And, but I really think that was good for our mentality to know that, regardless of what, comes our way, we're good enough to respond from it.
Tony's been trying to get you to come off the bus and take the field.
I told him, I said, as close as you're ever going to get to that. All right, you spoke on the 2-minute drive. Let's hit on that 2-minute drive. You put Red in there, you drive 95 yards, dink and dunk and throw the ball down the field. It looked like that both of you was on the same page. He knew that he was confident in what he was doing, where he was going with the ball.
Well, I thought the key was just getting the guys lined up to make sure we had enough men on the ball, the spiking, to make sure we only have one timeout. We executed the 3rd down pass play. Eli caught the ball, got the first down. Clock was, stopping as we moved the chains. We went in and spiked it on 1st down. Got a couple other throws to move the ball down the field, and then spiked it again. So it tells me that the guys are responding. They understand the situation. Those are things that you work on through the course of practice. But now you can teach it and go back on film. So I thought that was really good. And then just everybody knows we like to throw the screen game, be able to they got the ball on the 30-yard line or so to try to take some shots. You got to get the ball to the sideline or get first downs to try to stop the clock. And so we really felt like we had some opportunities to get some different plays right there before the half, and some of the things we wanted to work on and put on film. So it just tells our guys their minds in the right place, that we can execute the situations when we need to. And kudos for our guys read in that situation. That was a pretty big exclamation mark for our offense.
And our final question, going to special teams, kickoff. We harp on it every week in, week out. Kickoff, Caleb's, he's still getting the ball in between the 5 and the goal line, still getting the deep kick. But you want to have more youngsters step in, so Ben don't have to run down. You don't have to have Alex run down. All these starters, you don't have to have them run.
Well, we always rotate different guys on the kickoff coverage, give guys opportunity. And we felt like, if Caleb can give us an opportunity to go down there and make some tackles and, see some guys make some plays, that'll really help us for down the road. So I think as we get more into the season here, I'm hoping Caleb can get more touchbacks. But, a game like last Friday night, a game like tonight, you want to give opportunity to guys for go down there and make some plays and see what they can do. So, we want Travis Smalls, Uriah Matheson. We've got CJ, a number of guys. We got Wesley Taylor, Billy Woodby. We got Landry Buckles. We've got a number of guys we want to see help contribute on special teams. A lot against Morristown West, the kickoffs. Zeth made 2 of the plays, so you see a lot of the same names, same people doing those. So we want to try to get more people in there to help us out and see what we can do. And I think that situations like that, where you can show them on film what they did, what they didn't do, will help us down the road.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for last week's recap. We'll take these words from our sponsor. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's contest, as it's week 2 of the Class 4A region 4A tournament conference. And then we're into week 4, T-NCAA. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Coach Shawn Witten Show. Coach, this is week 2 of the all-important conference season. We're going down to Cherokee, where this will be our 12th time we're playing. We're 9-2 against them all time. We haven't played them since 2018 or 19. Last time we played them when it was in our conference. What are you looking for from your young Cyclones tonight? What are you wanting to see grow and take the next step?
Well, just more offensive consistency. You know, maybe we've had a lot of big plays. We've had a lot of good drives. Our longest drive of the season has been our season opener against Science Hill, where we had about an 8 or 9 play drive to score there. So more consistency from the offensive line. You know, when we substitute guys in, we want to still see executions at a premium. You know, we see guys to be able to throw our routes, and you know, we emphasize, you know, running the football big time against Granger to keep our offensive line in the mix. You know, tonight we want to try to come out and spread the football and see what our Qs can do. You know, throwing the football around, hitting different routes and different things we've worked on. Another important emphasis for us is we want to continue to move guys like Mason Ball around, Cam Baker around at tight end, number 3 receiver to H-back. You know, see some different looks with their guys at running back to see, you know, if Zeth or Holzer have been playing a lot on defense, you know, who can step in there and go at running back. I tell you, I really liked what I saw with Cam Baker at the running back position on a couple of plays. He just really ran hard, ran strong. That's a versatility I think we've not seen. And then obviously, you know, Dry's not a big guy, but I really feel like his speed back there, you know, one missed tackle or one cut, he can really go the distance.
So Hurley's got in your ear. He lit up a little bit when we put Cam back there, and he said he was going to work on you a little bit. It's
been good, honestly. I mean, I think that, you know, a guy like Cam has been a tremendous start to the season. We're asking a lot of him. I really feel that I'm very blessed when the season starts because he stops banging on me all summer, and now he can bang on other people. But he's super strong, super athletic. He's really a big versatility for us. Tight end, H-back, receiver, slot receiver to corner. He's having a big season up to this point.
Now let's flip over. You talked earlier. You was going to put, you know, the star. You was going to put Holger. You was going to put Landry in the wheel. What other changes are you wanting to look at on defense so that we can keep some of these defensive linemen and the backers?
Well, this week in practice for us, we've been really trying to work Mason Ball and get more offensive work there. You know, last week he was limited with a hamstring, and then, you know, what I really liked is I've seen what I like out of Andrew Blevins. I thought Andrew Blevins had a 3-quarter performance against Morristown West. He played really well, and then obviously he played about the entire game at defensive end. You know, Mason didn't get much reps there, so just Kyler McGovern. You know, still see Xavier in the D tackle, Matthew Kent at D tackle. You know, we mentioned some other names there, but you know, to see Justice really take control of that Mike linebacker position. There's a lot of things we want to work on there, but you know, we want to be able to stop the run the football, be able to put the ball down the field, which we've shown we're capable of doing, but. Yeah, we've got a couple concepts offensively. We want to find some more consistency. You know, when you throw the football, you know, you got to hit completions, and we're working really hard on that to make sure that that part of the game is where it needs to be.
Coach, let's talk about this part of it just a little bit. You play a team like Granger County or even tonight's opponent that you know, they're not the toughest teams on the schedule. So I've heard coaches in the past say that you don't really play the other team, you play your system. And I know you put in certain things for certain teams and you watch tape exhaustively and you prepare for what they do, but how true is that for the Cyclones? You're going to play your system, especially in games like tonight.
Well, I think it's so key because, you know, I think we've all got a system set up to, you know, everybody knows that what you do, you try to execute it really well. I mean, I think that there's, you know, at times there's some sprinkles here and there, but you know, you're not going to beat people by out tricking them, you know, or you know, different formations or different things like that. I mean, you really got to do what you do really well. So it's just continue to do the things, you know, create one-on-one matchups when we get the opportunities there. You know, to be able to throw the ball across the middle. The key emphasis for us is becomes that intermediate part. Our quick game is pretty good. Throwing the ball down the field is really good. It's kind of that intermediate when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12. What are the plays we want to go to? So we've been sprinkling in some receiver screens, getting the lineman out there, a little bit of misdirection at times. We've tried to work in some crossing routes at times there. We've not done a lot of sprint out and passing game to this point, just based off the defenses we've been up against. But just consistency, to be able to do the things that we installed day one really well, to be able to go into big games and say, hey, we're going to hang on this. These are the things that we're going to do. So we want to be more sound and more consistency on offense. And then we've got really good receivers that can catch the ball, whether it's a 5-yard route to an 8-yard route to a 12-yard route, just put it out there and let those guys make the plays.
Well, and our listeners need to realize you don't go into a game saying, all right, we're going to hang 70 points on this team or 65. You're not trying to run the score up. You're trying to get those players that are in at that particular time to execute your plays and your system.
It's always better when you can score on defense and score on special teams. So we worked really hard on. I really thought that we had some valuable times to really get some punt returns in. When you just get things like that on film, it makes other opponents really have to spend a lot of time preparing for those certain things. And so, being better on kickoff coverage, better field position on kickoff return. We feel like the number of times that we make teams like Granger, Cherokee punt. That's an opportunity for us to get the ball in some really good guys' hands and really get good field position. So we really want to be engaged in those opportunities, and then we really want to know that we want to limit the amount of time that the starters are on the field in those areas and really create the depth. So when we get in big games and guys need breaks, we know we can hang our hat on guys like Travis Smalls or Billy Woodby or Landry Buckles can go in there and make big-time plays for us.
And I don't care how hard you practice, you can't replicate those reps.
No, there's not like the game, just the real live pass rush. And then, a lot of times when you play teams like this, you're going to get, you're going to get twists on defense. You're probably going to get more blitzing. Those teams really got not a whole lot to lose. So, you may get more man-to-man, or you may get certain things you don't normally typically see. And so you just got to be prepared for the unexpected. And then, the other things that happen in the game is just, our 2-minute drive and stuff that when you practice it, it's not the same when you execute it in the game there at that moment. And so just, different opportunities, different things you want to get on film. Obviously, we scheme for different opponents, but when we go into games like we are tonight, we want to be able to execute our base plays. Fundamentals and technique are at a premium. Guys doing their job, building confidence. Making sure we're seeing the things we need to see from a secondary standpoint, and then just make sure we're on cue and having fun. I really think that games like this early in the season, there's still a lot to build for later on in the year. Later in the year, okay, things may be a little bit different, giving guys some rest, getting guys ready for the playoffs, getting guys ready for a strong finish. So, but week 4, there's still a lot to big plays left to go.
Coach Witten, as always, thank you. Good luck tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the Coach Shawn Witten Show for week 4 here. Tony and I will be back after these words from our sponsors to have our pregame at 7:30 kickoff tonight as the Cyclones enter their second game of the conference schedule as we travel to Rogersville to face the Cherokee Chiefs. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.